Welcome back to What If Eyeball was in, or What If Eyeball meets Tiny, or that one that you saw in the thumbnail for, or the title of that first video before this one. So please go check it out. Uh, so, at, or before this one. So, yeah. And where we left off, we were changing over to the villain's point of view. So the doctor, or both like him and him, all three of them were like arguing at each other for why hasn't Guyver showed back up? Patience. The he has probably the fixed Omnitrix or Nematrix. The wait, Doctor. The why did you call it fixed Xed Omnitrix? Well, you know that old man that is in the Novoid? Phil? That's what I think his name is? Yeah. Well, he was just a test subject. And then the dogs but now it's fixed from all those glitches. And Guyver sent a note, and he says, looks like someone else has that fixed on Nemtrix. Sir knows what it is. Let's go visit with whoever this person is. And take it away from him. Good idea, but not really. First, let's see if he could join us. And you assemble your crew, and the doctor asks Phil if do you remember the Nematrix, the one that gave you the powers of that to transform into Scorpio or into like Tarantula one? Terrible Tarantula? Yeah, I remember. Remember? Well, it looks like someone else has, or actually the other good doctor says that he fixed it, but it got taken after all the glitches thing got like worked out. Well, and of course the jet girl or like they all went on. They went to who the forums world, and he says, where is he? And I don't know what you're talking about. And, and it's not a good idea. And they go, and they found him pulling the giant tractor. And yeah, and then he walks over and Jet Ray, he notices something. She thinks that she knows who they're targeting. And so she flew all the way to him, and she says, "This, Eyeball, is that you?" And he looks up at her and sees her face. And, Jet Girl, or Jet Ray, girl. As he, and, and she was trying to do that same trick again. But only person that really knew that he was getting flirted by the Jet Girl was none other than the Princess of Forearms. Yeah, or Queen of Forearms. So she doesn't like this new girl that. So she ends up like sending her flying backwards. As she says, "How dare her you to flirt with my boyfriend?" As the crab guy says, "Well, there you are." Good job, Jet and girl, or whatever her name is. I forget her name, so I'm calling her Jet Ray Girl, or Jet Ray. So this must be your boyfriend, or your boyfriends that we're targeting. For what? As he transforms back into a human, or back to his usual self, and he says, "You must be the two doctors that I read on file at the plumber's base. Am I wrong?" No, you're 100% right. And plus, you're smarter than you look. I could tell because of your ring. And, yeah. So, come join with us instead of that plumbers. Because of because of the NEM tricks that I figured out the glitches, but Diver left on that ship, remember? Yeah, that it permanently bonded with me. Oh, I remember. Are you here to avenge his deaths? Or his capture thing? And no. We're here to recruit you. Oh, that's why we're here to recruit you as a as he was so brain dead that even shooting this is a waste of time. As he shoots, he was gonna shoot at her, but he eyeball protected him or protected her. As bang, as yeah. So she's like tearing, like she couldn't believe that someone or these her own species actually saved her life. And plus, at the same time, of course, this creature saw what happened as he roars, and 10 million trillion billions of the same breeds starts attacking them because as the Phil went transformed into that big monster dude and says, you're pretty weak. And plus you're a beginner of knowing the Nematrix, kid. But you will definitely die by my own hands. As the guards just like, they all come in. And as, yeah. So, they decided, of course, she holds them as she gets knocked unconscious by them, as Eyeball saw in, as so the Nemtrix decided to give him a cool transformation form. So, yeah, basically corrupting his own mind. So he does that. And so yeah, he was like he was taller than he was like all the or he was like mixed between him and him. So he he couldn't control his rage. So he ends up beating the snot out of Phil. Oh. Oh. And Laser Guy and the Brain Guy, and he literally sent him flying all the way back to the ship, and but that creature, he says, the fixed Omnitrix has bonded with your emotions as well. As he picks up that brain guy, as he shocks him, but he threw and like he used like the gas puns things, like what he has, to absolute limit. As to put all of them to sleep. As Jet Girl got flown in there, or she actually just walks right in, as she stops, turns around, and blows kisses to him, as she winks at him, as he calms down a lot, like he's embarrassed, kind, as he turns around to check on his girlfriend. I'm doing okay. As the doctors and they know that all these forearm species knew that it wasn't his fault. It was those specific creatures. So, as he that creature walks up to him, nuzzles against him, and like so a couple times he had to check on her to see if she was okay, because there was only broken bones, but not like severe. She only got like knocked out. So, too. And he says, as he turns around, as one of the forearms guards didn't like restrain him, but he says, "It's not your fault." And it was those fingers. But if I know, I know that it wasn't my fault, because I felt like it was. Because as everyone says, it's not your fault. Don't worry. Because the reason why you left Earth, or you left us, because you were bored. Yeah. But I'm blaming myself for or because I was being too bored. And so and man, as one of the guards asked him about, or actually the king, or yeah, the king says, "Don't worry, you're a plumber. You not very many of us has the guts to go to the planet and gets attacked or gets captured and gets attacked or and got the most dangerous thing on the entire universe, the Nematrix, and it's yeah, but someone in the crowd says, or actually the one of the knights asked him, who was that jet girl that, or who was that girl that laying blew kisses at you and winked at you? And he becomes he was basically embarrassed. Or, he couldn't believe. So yeah. And everyone that saw him becoming all blushed us is laughing at him huh. Well, as he tells his story, after he left and joined the plumbers, he says as that there's a lot of interesting missions, but some of them, even that one mission where I met that jet ray girl. Oh, oh, oh. I didn't realize that she was flirting with me until ben10 told me. As the king of the forums says, or starts laughing, and you really need to learn to know who's flirting with you and who's being serious with you. As Zuko, or no, as Eyeball was yeah, man, I never ever got raised by or that way. I can never tell with. As a holy or not, or one of the guards tells him that, man, no wonder why she has the heart for you. As yeah. So plus through the entire universe thing, the frog girl has some interesting in the or she had some interest in this young forearms or eyeball. So, because everyone is talking about him, like that he doesn't even know that he's getting talked about. And then after a couple of days have passed, and the king actually told him that everyone's talking about you, how like you, yeah, and actually the species, like his species, actually did something, or actually he is now their, like, basically their ruler, but they all respect him as he's not like a treacherous pirate. Yeah. So he like goes, helps everyone that he can help, and even some of the forums girls even asked him, or like they are murmuring like about him. Yeah. But so he fully recovered, and yeah, she ends up between, or she actually walked up to him when he was trying to do like mice catching things. Yeah. And yeah, he literally, and his, or the salvation thing, like he built the entire state capital thing, like a giant city. And so yeah, and he starts, or of course she walks up to him as she knows it's him, so she tells him that, "Hey, I know that you're trying to catch some mice, but can we talk for a minute?" As he looks at her, says sure, or he says sure, or he nods his head real quick. As he pluck tens of thousands, millions of those. I don't know what the mice would look like in. So yeah, he transforms back, and she, or of course, the king allowed her to get married to anyone. So she decides to get married to her best friend, or her boyfriend, because she says, "You know what who I choose?" Huh? And he says, "Who do you choose?" As he remembers that every like generation, the princess always has to choose a prince to get married to. So, as she says, I already made my decision. As she points to him, as she tells him that I chose you. Who? So, as she gave him a bunch of reasons why she chose him, as she and him like they both became like they got married and became and had not one kid, not two kids, 1, 2, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14 kids, or actually 4, should I say, or I was gonna, yeah, how about 14? She has 14 kids. Yeah. But the Nematrix actually altered their DNAs to allow themselves to shapeshift into different creatures. So they were still like them, just like their parents are, but they do like. So yeah. So yeah. So let's okay. 9 of them are girls. 5 of them are boys. Is so yeah. Or and as he taught the kids how to, or they went to schools and they got taught how, but their father taught them how to farm and like eat like normally. So yeah, they of course, they're so they were like went around and because he had really good hearing things, so they're so yeah, he was a pretty good teacher for everybody too, of how to make better clothing and like shields. As she says, huh, you're pretty useful with with or without the Nematrix. Huh. Yeah. But the yeah. So he can see or he actually or to enhance the technology of it. So yeah. Then when he looked through a telescope thing, he sees a ship, and it wasn't a plumber's ship. It was like, looks like Guyver's ship, as with a beam on a as let's go see what they have. So he flies up there, or he actually used his own power. He literally flew up there and him there, and he decides to go check it out as he sees them back as if you can't join us, at least I'll destroy all of what you have. As he says, well, you know what? You're pissing me off. As he took the beam, as it destroys, but they thought he was dead, but turns out he used autopilot and transformed into one of these, and he literally flew all the way inside, and he camouflaged himself. No, as all right, now we'll destroy. As they hear this charging and hits him right in the head, breaking the shell. And he says, as he uses his tail whip, as he knocks everyone out. As the Jet Ray girl knows who he is, so she decides, and of course she didn't know that he already got married to that girl. So yeah, he was being a bull in a china shop. So she ends up walking over and yeah, as she still, she doesn't, or he doesn't know, can never tell with other different species. So yeah, as he says, as he uses he turns it, And he literally and he does that. And yeah, he literally did that. And he literally destroyed the entire thing. So, but he does, like, out of all the other forms, he can hold his breath twice as long. So he transforms into that and comes back to his home world. And he did save Jet Girl's life, you know, from it. So he flew down, or like he transforms into that, and like keeps his mouth closed, and yeah, he basically hits the rock as he comes out, like as he as his own kids runs all the way to where he was at, and as they know it was their father that fell out of a sky, as he lifts up his head up, as he says, or actually he barfs up Jet Girl. Oh, as he says, as he falls, like she knows it takes a lot. So yeah. So this is gonna be the last part of What If Eyeball meets Tiny, because from this point on it's all over. So bye.